Great to see everybody here gathered today for the 6th State of the City Address from Livonia Mayor Maureen Brosnan. I'm Dan West, the president of the Livonia Westland Chamber of Commerce, and I will help us get started today. It is lights, camera, action time. More importantly, let's treasure the time we have together from so many segments of our community who are passionate about this place. We have leaders from our business, education, and government circles. We have Livonians from the silent generation to Generation Z. We have Livonians from various cultural and political backgrounds. We have Livonians who were at the horse race track, the Detroit race course, and we have some that have no idea what it is. Regardless, we are glad you're here today to join us for this journey into where things stand in Livonia and some big ideas for the future. At this time, if you're able, would you please rise for the presentation of the colors from a joint detail of the Livonia Police Department Honor Guard and the Livonia Fire and Rescue Department Honor Guard. Colors right. March. Post colors. Please remain standing. It's now my pleasure to introduce Girl Scout Troop 76293 from Livonia's Hoover Elementary School, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hoover rocket soar, spread kindness, overcome challenges, always do your best and respect others.
Thank you, Girl Scouts. Thank you, Honor Guard. Please remain, please. Please remain standing one last time for the invocation offered today by Dr. Kate Mackey, the Associate Pastor and Director of Youth Ministry at Rosedale Gardens Presbyterian Church, and she's also a chaplain for the Livonia Fire and Rescue Department.
I don't think we need an invocation after that Girl Scout troop. That was perfect. And I never knew there were this many good-looking people in Livonia. Will you all please pray with me? God of all creation, what a privilege it is to come before you this day with thanks for who you are and to acknowledge your ever-present presence. It is a joy to gather together as a community under your banner of love, to celebrate the past year and to anticipate a future of hope. In these days of incredible unrest and uncertainty, we are grateful that you do not change like shifting shadows and that we can rest in the promise that you hold each and every one of us in the palm of your hands. God of this city, bless our mayor, city council, and all elected officials, that their agendas and to-do lists be full of tasks and conversations that seek to enhance this community, tasks to advance unity, tasks to build relationships and trust, tasks that always seek the greater good. We thank you for their service and commitment to the well-being of this city and ask that you continue to instill in them wisdom, character, imagination, and integrity in their leadership. Holy God, we also ask that you watch over and protect all those who watch over and protect us, especially our first responders, dispatchers, police and firefighters, doctors and nurses. Return them home at the end of each shift to the comfort of their houses, the arms of their loved ones, and with peace of mind and heart, especially at the close of difficult days. And bless all of us who call Livonia home, Lord God. Remind each of us that we too, as citizens and business leaders, have a role to play in ensuring the safety, hospitality, enrichment, sustainability, and peace of our streets and neighborhoods. Help us to love our neighbors as ourselves and to always seek justice and kindness, to be graceful and merciful to one another, to speak out for the voiceless, and to help those in need. Thank you, God, for loving every one of us in ways beyond our understanding and for always being our biggest cheerleader. Bless this gathering this day, bless our fellowship, bless this city, and bless our future. In your name I pray, amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Mackey. You may be seated, unless you want to stand more. We are grateful for our community partners who generously supported today's State of the City program. Many thanks to our presenting sponsors today: Trinity Health Livonia, Schoolcraft College, Bill Brown Ford, Anderson Eckstein and Westrick Incorporated, Conchi Painting, NYX, Alpha USA, and Masco Corporation. Please thank our presenting sponsors. This afternoon's program concludes with a great networking opportunity. After the mayor's presentation, you are all invited around to hang around for a drink and conversations during our post-address mixer. Today's social gathering is made possible by the support of our mixer sponsors. They are Embassy Title Agency, LaFontaine Imports of Livonia, Consumers Energy, Lifemark Securities, and the law firm of Fossell and Grisco. Please thank our mixer sponsors.
Thank you, Mr. West, and good afternoon, everyone. Before we begin the program, I have been given the honor of introducing our local, county, and state elected officials. Please hold your applause until the very end. Representing our statewide officers, Michigan State Senator Dana Polhanke, Michigan State Senator Mary Cavanaugh, Representative Stephanie Young. Representing county-wide offices, we have Wayne County Commissioner Terry Marecki, Wayne County Commissioner Glenn Anderson, and the Third Circuit Court Judge Don Knapp. Representing our schools, K-12 and beyond, we have the Livonia Public School Board members of Karen Bradford, the President, Crystal Frank, Vice President, Madeline Acosta, Secretary, Liz Jarvis, Mark Johnson, and Dave McFarland. For the Clarenceville Public School Superintendent, we have Melissa Caruth, and the Clarenceville Public School Board members are as follows: Dennis Myers, President, Jessica Ellis, and Darwin Morgan. For the Schoolcraft College trustees, we have Brian Broderick, Carol Strom, and for the Schoolcraft College president, Dr. Glenn Cerny. The Madonna University president, Dr. Chris Doherty. And visiting is the City of Inkster Mayor, Byron Nolan. And from the City of Livonia, we have the Livonia 16th District Court Judge, Sean Cavanaugh, City Clerk, Lori Miller, City Treasurer, Susan Nash, Livonia City Council President, Brandon McCullough, Livonia City Council Vice President, Martha Tashnik, Council Member Robert Donovic, Council Member Linda Scheel, Council Member and Council Member Laura Toy. Council Members Scott Morgan and Carrie Budzinski could not be in attendance this afternoon because of prior engagements, but we sincerely thank them for their leadership over this past year. Now, just as we thank all of our elected officials, please, a round of applause. And sit back, relax, and enjoy the coming show, folks.
friends and neighbors, welcome to the City of Livonia 2025 State of the City. Taking photos or recordings and sharing to social media with the hashtag LivoniaBuilt is strictly encouraged. Please take this moment to locate your nearest emergency exits. Sit back and enjoy the 2024 City of Livonia Year in Review.
If you build it, they will come. If you update Sheldon Park, they will come. Coming soon.
Hey, Train Officer McKee, what's happening? Hey, I'm here at Station 1, checking out the turnout gear that we have for our crews, and it's starting to look a little old and outdated and used. I think it's time to look into state grant funding to get some new gear for our crews to keep them protected from the fires.
I'm gonna get you the money.
Also, while you're working on the grants, can you also check in on the smoke alarms and COs? They're state funded through the Fire Marshal Division for our citizens.
I'm gonna get you the money. You do not know what it's like for me to be out here for you. I'm writing grant applications morning, noon, and night. Help me. Help me. Help you. Help me. Help you.
We need new thermal imaging cameras for our crews to help them find victims in the fire so they don't get hurt.
Hold that thought. I gotta make a phone call.
FEMA, show me the money! Come on, you know that these ladder trucks only have a service life of 15 years? We need a new ladder truck. State of Michigan, show me the money! We gotta take care of our crews and residents.
I'm gonna get you that money!
Congratulations, McKee, you're still our training officer.
Deputy Chief Clay, I've just been handed this memo. In the past year, Livonia's Fire and Rescue have earned $1.5 million in grants for new ladders, fire truck, protective turnout gear, new thermal imaging cameras, free smoke detectors, and carbon monoxide alarms for residents. On top of that, tuition assistance for firefighters and paramedics.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Woo! We did it.
You did it. You did it. Well, Chief, we did it. We did it. We got the funding. We're gonna get the turnout gear, we're getting the smoke detectors, we're getting the thermal cameras.
Shut up.
And we're getting the new fire truck.
Shut up. You had me at we did it. You had me at we did it.
Doc, I gotta talk to you.
Whatever you're selling, I don't want any.
No, Doc, I'm from the future. It's me, Madison. I have to bring you back with me so we can deliver these site plans for the Felician Sisters in Newburgh Village 2.
Newburgh Village 2? What is it gonna be, City Hall 2? No way.
Well, yes, but that's not the point right now. You help make these homes possible in the future. And it can all happen because of a bond approved by City Council.
A bond?
Yeah. The bond will be paid from the Self-Supporting Housing Commission. It won't come from the City General Fund.
Great Scott.
It's heavy, Doc. We gotta get back.
I've chosen wisely.
Blueprints. Why is it always blueprints? What, more? Oh.
Livonia's never had anything like these before.
A trash cart. Can you believe it? You're dead. You crazy son of a... You're dead.
Hello, Ted Davis speaking.
Good evening, Mr. Davis. Your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to begin construction on the new Livonia Senior Wellness Center. You and your team will work to...
Done.
What?
Already started back in July. We've got renderings online. You can see it. Exterior walls are up. Roofing is all done. In fact, if you want to see them, you can check them out at LivoniaBuilt.org.
Well, okay. Your new mission, if you choose to accept it, is to begin renovations and construction on the new gym at the rec, and you will build...
Already working on it.
Explain.
Listen, we're doing all that already. We start in earnest in July here on phase 2 for the project, but probably the best way to get updates on this is follow us on social media, or again, just go on to LivoniaBuilt.org.
I seem out of the loop. Can you tell me more about developments in Livonia?
I'm probably better off letting the mayor tell you all about that.
All right. Woo! That was some chilly flying. Wasn't that fantastic? I get to work with the sharpest people. Round of applause for that. You know, every year I stand before you and I tell you how exciting it is to have this job and to get a chance to work with 18 of the smartest people in the whole wide world. And if that entry wasn't an exhibition of the bright talent we have working in our city, I don't know what is. So I think it's a super creative way to tell the story about what's happening in Livonia. And we've got a lot of really good stories to tell. We've got a lot of different things that we want to fill you in on. And if we get going here, a lot of big groundbreakings to talk about. And a lot of what we've done throughout the city gets told on that sheet that's on your paper, that was on each one of your seats, okay? Those are the Critics' Choice Awards, and it gives you a little bit more explanation behind the scenes of what some of those vignettes we're talking about. So I've got my own Critics' Choice Awards that I want to make sure to give out tonight. Leading Man this year, that award's going to Greg Dimmitt, my husband. Thank you for being here today. And to all the supporting cast in the 7 children that we all shared together, I want to thank all of them for their support throughout the year. And my son Rory is here representing today on behalf of all of them. So, while the state of our city is strong today, at the heart of each of those projects that you saw and each of the projects that we work on is the brilliant work of these 18 department heads working every day to solve major problems that are sure to impact our tomorrows. However, there is one problem that keeps me up at night. Livonia is facing a population decline, and at the same time, our population is aging. You heard a little bit about that from Dan West in the introduction today, and it's all happening faster than what's happening in our peer communities. So let's spend some time this afternoon talking about our single biggest challenge. This is the single biggest challenge that the city has ever seen. So we need to make sure that there is a really smart, bold solution to tackle that. Let's first understand the problem. While cities all around us are growing, Livonia's population is shrinking. Our children are leaving, families are looking elsewhere for opportunities, and if we do nothing, if we observe the status quo, we're going to fall behind. Our residents are staying in their homes longer, and that's not a bad thing. That's actually good. But at the same time, we're not attracting those young professionals, those young families who want to move here and then stay here. So this is leading to an aging population. And as our population shifts, we face stagnation. Just this past Friday, as Dan mentioned, we had a chance with the Chamber of Commerce at a hosted event for community leaders to focus on the data that was coming out of the U.S. Census Bureau and regional forecasting. And here's what they said. Their data presented confirmed a lot of the trends that we believe we've been experiencing. Modern Consulting was there, and they provided an analysis of how to confront our declining population. And they talked about what has worked elsewhere and what we might want to find that'll work in our community. And here's what they found. They said that cities that are thriving are committed to attracting young residents, and it's a focus for them. They're activating outdoor spaces so that there's more recreational opportunities, and they're providing diverse housing stock like apartments and like townhouses. Because the bottom line is that without an influx of young professionals and families, we face a future where we as an existing community have fewer resources to support those amenities that we rely on. Amenities that keep us safe, that provide for our children, that keep us all active and engaged as we age. The data shows that over the course of the next 25 years, much of what makes Livonia a hometown that we cherish, all of that could be at risk. And it's our responsibility to change that. No one's coming to our rescue. We're going to have to figure out how to do this ourselves. That's why my administration has spent the past 6 years making investments that have been geared toward retaining residents and businesses that we have while still attracting new families that we need. We've reintroduced the Defined Benefit Program, pledging and guaranteeing retirement to police officers and firefighters who work in Livonia. That, combined with historic wage increases, has brought us back to safe staffing levels, and that's important to Livonia residents. We've secured grant funding to construct a new senior wellness center at the Kirksey Recreation Center, and that, as you heard earlier, is going to be completed this year. Thanks to the supportive help of our partners at both the county, the state, and the federal level. I appreciate you all being here and continuing to follow this project. While we've been providing our senior population with these kinds of amenities that they need, we're also providing them with this really healthy lifestyle in Livonia by relocating that senior center and attaching it to the recreation center. This is going to give us a chance to demolish the old building on the corner of 5 Mile and Farmington Road and clear property for redevelopment. For redevelopment where we're going to be able to meet some of those housing needs of young professionals and young families. And in the meantime, the city has worked to attract more multifamily residential apartments and townhouse developments than ever in our city's history, providing a more diverse and affordable housing product for our young people. And we're also at the same time not ignoring the seniors again. We're continuing to invest in senior housing, investing in Newburgh Village 2, the second phase of our senior housing in Livonia, 100 new units. Also investing as a partner in the reconstruction of the Felician Sisters Mother House. We need to continue to do more of all of that, all over the city, every chance we get. And we've made a lot of progress. But to ensure that our city is a city that our children want to come home to, we're going to have to do more still. All of us together are going to have to come together. And we have an extraordinary opportunity to take that next step and give Livonia the bright future that it deserves. And what a better time to consider doing that and making that investment than this year, the year of our 75th anniversary. The Livonia Built Bond proposal is our community's proposal and response to the big, huge challenge that's before us. It's a bond proposal that's going to enable us to invest not just in buildings, but in belonging, in creating places where our children learn, where our neighbors gather, and where our first responders thrive. Our success is going to depend on our ability to come together as a community, and that's why I'm so grateful to see so many of you here today to talk about this. And the team that's been leading this effort is our Livonia City Council. I am proud to say that we have the full support of the Livonia City Council as partners in this project, and that deserves your round of applause. Over the past 18 months, City Council members have invested their time and energy into working with us to shape the Livonia Built Bond proposal. This is one of our best examples of a solution that's been built by leaders who've spent a lot of time learning about an issue and then investing in designing something that is really truly going to work for our city. I want to offer special thanks today, because I know she's in the room, to former Council President Kathleen McIntyre, who was at my side when we developed the Livonia Vision 21 project. She was part of the task force back then. I also want to especially thank our council chairperson of the Capital Outlay Committee, Rob Donovic, and the vice chairperson, Martha Tashnik, and committee member, Linda Scheel. You've all put in an incredible amount of work. Councilman Donovic has been a champion from the start, and the committee has spent countless hours, and he with me, alongside the leadership team and their entire committee, have spent time crafting what we really believe is not only a fair, but an effective bond proposal for our community. Together with their colleagues, Council President Brandon McCullough, Councilwoman Laura Toy, Councilwoman Carrie Budzinski, and Councilman Scott Morgan, we have worked together, my administration and the Livonia City Council, to create this Livonia Built Bond proposal. I want to thank you all. This is truly unprecedented leadership, and it will make the biggest difference in our city's future. Thank you. So with the support of the Livonia Police Officers Association, the Livonia Command Officers Association, and the Livonia Firefighters Union, in a couple weeks, the council is going to be putting this for a vote before the council, and they're going to be asking voters later in August, or early in August, to vote on this bond proposal. Make no mistake, the Livonia Built Bond proposal will be an investment in our safety, in our children, and in our future. And here's what that path to success could look like. Let's engage in a little bit of visionary thinking, okay? what if? What if we were able to build a new police station that would help us attract and retain quality police officers in a building? In a building that was designed to provide the highest level of service for Livonia residents while keeping our officers safe in a state-of-the-art facility. What if that police station was designed to actually be a police station, unlike what we have now, a repurposed water and sewer building built in 1961? What if that police station was built closer to the courthouse to improve efficiency instead of being built over a creek that creates a lot of water damage and leaks? What if that police station had just one HVAC system instead of 5 different HVAC systems that are all cobbled together, and sometimes the building is warm and sometimes the building is cool? What if that police station was designed from the very beginning to accommodate female police officers and employees with disabilities? And then, what if we were able to upgrade all of our fire stations so that not only the equipment, but the personnel fit inside the building? Now, let's take a moment and let Chief Jennison and his team.
So many
tell you the story.
firefighters are on duty for those 24-hour shifts, and the firehouse can become a place where they live, eat, and sleep. And that's why outdated facilities can be more than just inconvenient.
Yeah, they can be impractical and even dangerous. And that's why firefighters in Livonia wanted 7 News Detroit reporter Megan Daniels to see what's happening in their firehouses and why there needs to be a change.
These outdated firehouses in Livonia are calling for some much needed renovations to fix things like gear storage and garage sizes. And another big concern, these current firehouses don't have spaces for women firefighters.
This portion of the building was constructed in 1966.
Technology and science have made some incredible strides since the 60s, causing some bumps in the road for Livonia's firehouses.
The ceiling was okay for trucks built in 1960. But for the new modern fire apparatus, you can see our ladder truck. If I were to pull it out of the bay out here, it barely fits out of the door.
But issues run deeper than just a tight squeeze into the garage. Currently, there isn't a proper place to store turnout gear.
Having our gear stored out here in the bay, while it's the best that we can do right now, having it exposed to UV lighting, light from the outside, sunlight, degrades the material faster.
Not to mention improper ventilation. When equipment is off-gassing, meaning releasing cancer-causing fumes collected in the gear during calls, the fumes linger in the garage and further expose the crews.
Still, even after washing, off-gasses carcinogens for days or weeks.
The showers and locker rooms also posing a hazard to the firefighters' long-term health.
They get back from a fire or they get back from a medical call. It could be bloodborne pathogens, it could be carcinogens from a fire. They have to undress out here, and then they're going to walk in to get to their showers and their lockers and contaminate the hallways and the bedrooms, even the eating areas as they're getting there.
And back in the day, because they didn't have any female firefighters,
we have a men's room, and then we have a unisex bathroom for our female firefighters.
People do their best to accommodate, but the stations just aren't set up for that.
These major upgrades to all 5 Livonia firehouses are going before City Council for approval on April 2nd, expected to be part of a proposed millage that's also dedicated to the construction of the new Civic Center campus. The residents I spoke to say they do support the fire department's upgrades.
Sure, I think if it's a good thing, they should look for a good price and then go ahead and proceed with it, and I'd probably vote yes.
I'm sure it would be fair. I think anything to get the carcinogenics out of the buildings would be a good idea.
City Council will vote on the language for the proposal next week. In Livonia, Megan Daniels, 7 News Detroit.
That's just the firefighters. But what if, let's move further. What if we could keep and attract young families in Livonia by ensuring that they have access to a state-of-the-art library that truly becomes the heart of our community and the jewel of the city center? A library that accommodates everyone at all phases of their lives. A library rich with modern technology, maker space, meeting rooms, and places to accommodate programming that reflects the changing needs and growing needs of our community. A library that at a bare minimum has plenty of places to plug in our devices. As hard as it is to imagine, our current library was built before everyone was walking around with their own personal computers. So let that sink in for a minute. What about we had a new library that gives us a chance to aspire for more and a design that might be a smaller space, but one that allows us to get ahead of technology and the needs of our residents? And then, what if? What if we designed a city center that was authentic to Livonia? And unlike communities that have not met with success in huge projects like this, we were different because we embraced what is best and truest about our community. We call these authentic moves, and they are going to be the key to our success. So here's what Livonia's authentic moves look like. A greenway that serves as a gateway to better health and as a key connector to Ford Field and to Rotary Park and beyond. A place for parades and strolling art exhibits and family walks. A path that encourages people to take the road less traveled on foot or on bike and stay healthier while they're at it. This is what young people are demanding in their communities, and this is what we have a chance to deliver. A central park. This is where people come together to celebrate culture, art, and history, where they find and build family traditions. It begins with a 2-acre central gathering area called a park plaza, and this is larger than Kellogg Park, just to give you a bit of a perspective. That will become the heart of our city center, where the work we've already done and the memories we've already built around the Knee Hazel Memorial Park, they get enhanced while never losing sight of what's ultimately most important in our community. What if we're talking about passive recreation areas that use smart design to create a water feature that's surrounded by dense woods with boardwalks and trails and places to observe nature right in the heart of our city? We don't have amenities like this in Livonia. This would be unique, different, and truly set us apart. And while we're relocating our major investments, our city hall and our library and the police station and police parking, we're protecting our dense woodlands. We're using those buildings as a protective feature so that we become the stewards of something that's ultimately important on our Civic Center campus. And all of these smart moves are being set up so that the public sector, not us, the public sector, can turn around and build unique dining experiences. Now imagine, what if that was a test kitchen? And what if we were able to attract some of culinary geniuses coming out of Schoolcraft College to put up their pop-up kitchens and test some of their culinary experiences on us here in Livonia? Wouldn't that be dynamic and truly Livonia? What if we were able to encourage developers to create retail and entertainment venues and then build those housing options that young people in our community are asking for? And as a result, our kids see a future for themselves in our city. And finally, what if we could stop losing not just our young people, but more than $550 million every year in retail demand to our peer communities, like Plymouth, like Northville, like Novi. That is the promise of the Livonia Build Bond proposal. So, I know you want to see what this looks like, and I've got a really cool trick to fly you through it and show you from a bird's eye view what we're all in store for. But I want to preface it by saying that when I first saw this design, it was really hard to imagine the magnitude of it. The incredible magnitude of what it is that we can do here in our community. So just in order to how do you get your head around 27 acres of new development? So let's put that in perspective. When we're all done taking this big, brave, bold move, we will have done more for this city than they did in the single biggest development since the industrial corridor was established. And that was transformational back in 1950. That was transformational in changing us from a town to a city. This will turn us into a regional destination. Okay, so to get our bearings, here we are. We're launching off of the top of Bates, and we're going to head east toward Knee Hazel Park. You'll notice that the buildings are close to the road with 0 setbacks. You'll see plenty of on-street parking and lots of sidewalks. Now, it's important to remember that this is the area for future development. It is not included in the Livonia Built Bond proposal, and it will not be paid for by taxpayers. Rather, the municipal buildings that you see out there at the top of your screen in yellow, these are the buildings that are key to sparking the private development of the city center that you're seeing in the foreground. Okay? So let's roll the tape. The city is going to continue to own the property that you're seeing, and we're going to work with developers in the public-private partnerships to build what the community wants and needs. Apartments, townhouses, things that our kids can afford, restaurants, bars, entertainment, and retail options. Now, take a stop here, okay? Now, we're going to enter what we call, this is the city center area, and we're coming down a street called Festival Street, okay? This is one of those areas where we really do envision that Livonia is going to find this to be one of their favorite gathering spots, to be sure. And as we fly in, and you most likely have already noticed, there are going to be 1 or 2 spots that might strike a bar of familiarity with you. So here we go. McCullough's Pub is on your left. Tashnik's Famous Pierogies, close by, also on the left. Turn to the right quickly, don't miss the Shield Ice Cream Shop. And Festival Street would not be complete without a Budzinski Coffee Shop and Laura's Toy Store. Now, we're going to stop here because you may recall that Livonia Vision 21 created a master planning ordinance that was unanimously approved by City Council in 2020. What that ordinance did is that it allowed for first floor retail with apartments and townhouses built above. It also allowed for on-street dining. This is all going to come together for us to create this bustling retail and restaurant environment that is sure to be that destination, that attraction for young people. And it is going to stop that horrible leaking of tax revenue to nearby peer communities. All right, let's roll the tape. You're going to get to the end of the Festival Street there, and on your left, you'll notice we've got Donovik's Cafe. And you're coming up on the Central Park, and the new library comes into view there. Let's stop and take a look here. This is Central Park. How exactly it gets built out is going to rely a lot on what residents want to see there. There is going to be plenty of opportunity to hear from people exactly how they'd like to see this 2-acre park developed. Now again, let's put this in perspective. This is a 2-acre park. It is bigger than Kellogg Park in Plymouth. And right now it is big enough to accommodate things like a splash pad, a playground, an outdoor amphitheater, art installations, of plenty of other room for other major gatherings. So we're going to wander through that, and you will notice that the library is very intentionally placed at the top of the park so that the library and the work that it does and the programs that it offers can activate that park space, and the upper level of the library can overlook all the green space of the park. Surrounded on both sides by restaurant and retail opportunities with that second-story housing, again, you'll notice plenty of on-street parking, sidewalks, bikeways, and lots of green space. All right, we're going to jump on one of the sidewalks that borders the park and get you to the greenway we talked about earlier. We're going to turn left here at Morgan's Steakhouse, and we're going to head toward the new police department and the new police parking garage on your right. The bond proposal is going to give us a chance to get all of our police vehicles inside. This makes it incredibly safer for our police officers, and it will extend the life of our fleet. Check out the location of the police station as it relates to the courthouse. Can you imagine the efficiencies that get created when we move those 2 properties closer together? We're going to stop here for a moment because I want you to look with me at a very, very rough rendering of the police building. That's the second building on your right there, okay? Now, it's designed in very rough forms just to kind of be a placeholder. But you've got to use your imagination here. And more than your imagination, though, I want you to understand what's important to our police chief and his team. To our police chief and the team, ultimately, this is a building designed to serve the community. This is a police station that addresses all of those deficiencies that we talked about earlier, and it provides a state-of-the-art working environment for our officers. But it is also imagined to be a building that is inviting to the public, that has open design, that has windows, that looks like a friendly environment, one that is complete with places for the public to come and gather, for people to meet and do things safely, like make their Facebook Marketplace exchanges. All right, we're going to roll tape again, and we're going to zip you down the greenway that we discussed as one of our authentic features. Here it is, the big giant greenway. And this road was the one that was designed for parades and strolling art exhibits. This is the main connection between 5 Mile and Farmington roads, and it is a gateway bounded on the left by the city buildings, the police station, police parking garage, the library, and City Hall. We're going to stop here for a second because, again, I need you to use your imagination with me, okay? Now, as we look at this library, obviously, we're not going to be able to check out any library books at the moment, but we are going to be able to check in on what drives this design, what makes the combination of City Hall and a library a really smart move. Now, remember, City Hall, again, is not part of the bond proposal. City Council has already taken care of funding that building in a different way, and check that as done. But here's a chance to combine these two structures and possibly save some money in doing it, definitely save in some efficiencies, and make better, more optimal use of combined space. Now, here's what the Library Commission and the Library Director envision. They envision a state-of-the-art library that's going to meet the needs of the people and stand at the heart of our community. It stands at the heart of our community much like the Recreation Center stood at the heart of our community in 1999, boldly saying, we are here for Livonia's families. We are here for people of all generations. But we value young families. Hence, we've invested in these amenities. Rich with modern technology, maker spaces, meeting rooms, study rooms, tons of natural light flooding through that building, making sure that everything enhances our programming and our ability to quickly become the go-to library in the region. All right, we're going to roll again. We're going to take you out back behind the library, and we're going to check out that outdoor programming space around the pond and the nature area that abuts the woods. Now, I don't want you to freak out. We ran out of time to put in all the trees that create that dense wooded area back there, okay? That wooded area is much denser than it is right now. It is our objective to make sure that it remains really dense, okay? So don't go crazy about that one. So we're trying really hard to create a passive nature observation area with trails and boardwalks. Off toward the center of the screen, you can kind of see like a natural stage. This is where we're going to get a chance to do some of our story times and nature observation activities, educational programming. Again, this is an area where the community is going to help us to determine what is actually going to go in this space and what does the build out of this space look like. But let's make sure that we've made room for some things, okay? Just to kind of spark our ideas. Things like the observation deck or stage, boardwalks, trails, educational programming that's directed by the library, room for story time, and making sure that we keep our story walk in place. We're going to pull back from this scene now, and this view is going to take us looking north on the property. And this is where I lose my breath every single time. Because this is the opportunity we create when we relocate our aging and our deteriorating city structures east on our campus. This right here, this is the future that is within our reach. It holds true to our belief that this is where we as a city control our own destiny. Remember, I told you nobody is going to step in and solve this problem for us. This is ours to solve, and this is how we do it. Because if we build it, they will come. And this is not a new vision, folks. This is not. I wish it was. I wish it was our genius idea, but it is not. This may sure as heck be shown in a new way, a more high-tech way, but leaders have been talking about this since 1967. The Livonia-built bond proposal is going to allow us to deliver on a vision that was promised more than 60 years ago. The City Center project, as we know it today, was identified as critical to Livonia's future in 2018, when a group of dedicated leaders came together along with thousands of residents, and they drafted Livonia Vision 21, the city's master plan, which was unanimously adopted by the council in 2020. This decision continues to make news today. And the bond proposal our city council will be putting on the ballot is a chance to reinvest in our community. The last time we did that was 1999, when we asked the community to support a bond proposal to build the Kirksey Recreation Center. And how do I know it? Because if you look in the middle of that picture, that's me, the short one, with a shovel and the skirt and heels, standing in the dirt, okay? Can you imagine Livonia without the Recreation Center and its 800,000 visitors a year? It is time. It is time for the community to reinvest, for residents and business leaders to stand in support of a bond proposal that will finally finish what our parents and grandparents started. 70% of Livonia residents see a city center rich with amenities they see themselves enjoying all year long. For 85% of our residents, the cost to do this will be less than $18 a month. I'm going to say that again, because there's a whole lot of numbers floating on out there about this, okay? Let's all say it together. For 85% of our residents, the cost of doing this will be less than $18 a month. For the average homeowner, the investment will be $12 a month. Now, we all know that Livonia is a special place. It deserves a future. It deserves to grow. And that is why we have to invest in our safety, our children, and our future. Not tomorrow, not next year, not 10 years from now, but now. Thriving cities are built by people. So maybe the question that remains isn't what if. Maybe the question is even simpler. Maybe the question is, are we that generation? Are we the generation that's going to come together to invest in our safety, our children, and our future? Well, I believe we are. Because I believe, and I do believe this with my whole heart, that together we will build tomorrow. Thank you for being here.
We rise again, we bear no change. Every step we take, a spark ignites, turning darkness into light. With open hearts and open minds, the future's ours to find. Together we build tomorrow, brick by brick we chase the sun. Through the joy and through the sorrow, we won't stop till the work is done. Side by side, strong and free, a better city for you and me. We hear the call, the time is now, no dream too big. We make this vow with every voice, with every soul. We come together, we make it whole. Every step we take, a spark ignites, turning darkness into light. With open hearts and open minds, the future's ours to find. Together we build tomorrow, brick by brick we chase doubt. We know what this is all about. Love and hope, truth and pride. Together we stand side by side. Together we build tomorrow. Brick by brick we chase the sun. Through the joy and through the sorrow, we won't stop till the work is done. Side by side, strong and free, a better city for you and me. We stand as one, hand in hand, dreaming of a promised land. Through the storm, through the rain, we rise again, we bear no shame. Every step we take, a spark ignites, turning darkness into light. With open hearts and open minds, the future's ours to find. Together we build tomorrow. Brick by brick we chase the sun. Through the joy and through the sorrow, we won't stop till the work is done. Side by side, strong and free, a better city for you and me. We hear the call, the time is now. No dream too big, we make this vow. With every voice, with every soul, we come together, we make it whole. Every step we take, a spark ignites, turning darkness into light. With open hearts and open